Welcome into NFL Daily. Tom Downey here once again from the NFL Combine. In light of all the Jalen Carter situation, we figured great time for an updated mock draft. I will make note the mock itself, like the picks, was built before any testing. There is testing ongoing as we sit here filming this, so we'll make note of that and might see some guys rise in our next mock draft. And speaking of risers and maybe some followers, if you want Combine winners and losers each day after the drills, like the video right now. Help me show that it is worth me getting up super early to do that video for you guys tomorrow morning, and then again Saturday morning, and having others do it Sunday, Monday. Like that video for me right now. All right, so our mid-combine mock draft. Let's go Will Anderson, number 1 overall. No trades projected, so we'll talk about Carter in a little bit. In light of it, let's keep Anderson at that number 1 spot. That leaves Bryce Young, number 2, Alabama quarterback. He's going to test tomorrow, or he's going to wait or show up for the Combine tomorrow and do media interviews. Then we'll get some testing numbers on Saturday, I believe. The number that I'd heard he was playing weight, by the way, was in the 170s. He'll weigh heavier. The playing weight was in the 170s, allegedly. All right, let's go number 3. Still no Jalen Carter. Tyree Wilson is not doing testing here, but he's got a freakish arm length and I think is very well liked around the NFL. Colts are going to go quarterback. Talking with some Colts people, they say depends on which day it is the lean that they get from the QB. So no real clarity on that front there. Stroud, I think, would be a great fit in what they're going to do with Shane Steichen as their new head coach. I'll put Jalen Carter at 5. I think there's a lot of uncertainty still about what's going to happen when it's all said and done with Jalen Carter. He left the Combine in light of the arrest warrant issued for his arrest. He then came back to the Combine after he's actually back at the Combine. Is not doing drills. I think he had a few more meetings, which seems somewhat significant on that front to get to know people and meet with teams and explain himself and everything was going on there. It is concerning. It's not a minor issue. I would suspect everything gets sorted out by the time the draft actually comes around. I think it's too early to really know where he ends up going. So for now, we'll slot him in at number 5 to Seattle, who certainly could use a premier 3-technique defensive lineman. Where do you think Jalen Carter ends up going? That's the pinned comment on today's video. A lot of routes you can go. If the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there. Let me know who you think ends up drafting Jalen Carter this year. Devon Witherspoon, who I love a lot. We had a good interview with him today. It's on our NFL Draft channel. I'll link it in the comments, by the way, that YouTube channel. Devon got that dog in him. Very confident player, which is what you want out of a corner. Big fan of his game. I think Dan Campbell would like him. Number 7, Anthony Richardson, the Vegas selection here out of Florida. Massive upside. Massive risk as well. I think he's going to look and throw well at the Combine. Curious if some of his technique issues has been fixed. He kind of flips those hips open. I kind of get the buzz. Raiders, they're either going to go defense or more likely quarterback. Myles Murphy, not testing at the Combine, out of Clemson. After Carter and Anderson, and even maybe after Tyree Wilson, I don't have a great feel for who goes where among those defensive linemen. Number 9, Will Levis, the Kentucky quarterback. Sorry, Panthers fans who don't want him. I don't think they're going to get Derek Carr. That's the vibe I've gotten from them. And in that case, it means quarterback is the likely. They're going skill, I think, pretty often in this year's draft. They're the big 4 QBs, all gone in round 1, top 10. Who is the best quarterback in the 2023 NFL draft? Let me know in the comments section. Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon, part of a stacked cornerback group. I love the options. Round 1, round 2, round 3, and deeper. Here's your James Bradbury replacement. I feel a little bad always doing it, but I just think Paris Johnson to Tennessee is an obvious fit. Quentin Johnston, I cannot wait to see him test some buzz. He's going to run in the 4.4s. He runs 4.4s. I think he ends up being receiver 1, despite being a bit more of a finesse player than you expect at the catch point for someone of his size. Peter Skoronski to the Jets at number 13. We'll see how they address the tackle spot. If they take care of it, maybe Skoronski's not the most logical fit, but he's going to measure in with sub 33-inch arms. That's going to be a big red flag for teams. Jordan Addison, the USC wide receiver, can play some slot, can play some outside. Get the Patriots a playmaker here. I'm a huge fan of Brian Branch. I think he'd be a great fit in the Packers defense. I think somewhere in this Branch range, like the Jets, Patriots, Packers, all feel like fantastic fits for Branch and what he can do in the NFL. Joey Porter Jr. out of Penn State next up here. The Commander is going to be in the cornerback market. I think between Witherspoon, Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr., you can say one of those guys is your number one corner, and I would be on board with that. Broderick Jones out of Georgia goes number 17 here. He's a freak athlete. I think he's going to test really well. Needs some time to develop the technique at tackle. Lucas Van Ness, again, all done before the actual combine testing, but early results, very, very early, until like the first couple things, seem pretty good for Van Ness. Good 40 time. I don't think the vert was that great, but he's a big boy. He's going to continue to draw buzz moving forward. Now, if you want more NFL news and rumors on the NFL draft leading up to, through, and beyond draft night, this is your one-stop shop. Hit that sub button for me right now, youtube.com/@chatsportstv. Free videos multiple times per day. Number 19, Deonte Banks. Look, there's a lot of good corners. Banks fits the mold. He's more of a lockdown guy. I like his fit in Tampa. Drew Sanders out of Arkansas, who is not 6'5", he's 6'4", which makes a lot more sense when I was looking at him at media availability. I'm like, he's not 6'5". There's no way. He's still a big boy at 6'4". He should test very well as well. Seattle, kind of that hybrid linebacker, off-ball edge guy. I think it'd be a really good fit alongside Jordan Brooks. Number 21, Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. Don't know how great he's going to test, but if he's just above average, that's all he needs because he's great in about everything else that he does. Jackson Smith-Njigba out of Ohio State to the Baltimore Ravens here. That is the I don't know if he's going to test. A lot of buzz he's not going to, which is fine because he's probably more of a mid-4-5s guy despite the turf, again, at Indy being juiced up this year. Ravens need receiver help. We'll see what happens with Lamar, but either way, they need more playmakers. Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. The weigh-in will matter for him. He's very slender, very skinny guy, but he is a ball hawk in every sense of the word. If Brian Flores wants his new version of Xavier Howard in terms of just like the ball skills, Forbes is that guy. Kalijah Cansey, who he did run literally as we're filming this. Stupid numbers, undersized. Remember, don't count it twice, guys. Someone's fast. We knew Cansey was fast. Testing at the elite level is exactly what he needed to help his draft stock, but he is still an undersized outlier who doesn't have the same arm length that Aaron Donald did, but tested just as good. Very similar once you adjust for weight, almost identical. I think he goes round one. I don't love the top 10 hype on him, but he is disruptive. It's a matter of can he hold up in the running game? I'm not so sure if he can. Jags could use, though, a new Impact 3 technique. I want you guys to predict a combine winner this year. Kalijah Cansey will be on our winners list tomorrow morning. Drop some more names for me in the comment section. Zay Flowers out of Boston College is next up here. I don't know if he's a perfect fit with Wan'Dale Robinson, but I think he's going to test well. By the way, the 13 pounds of muscle, it's not true. You can't have 13 pounds of muscle in that short of time. It's not how science works. 13 pounds with some of that being muscle? Yes. Is he in good shape? Absolutely. But I'm not buying 13 pounds of muscle. Mike McCarthy wants to run the football more. Cowboys want a playmaker. Sounds like Bijan Robinson to me. I don't know where he goes. He's going to test great. He's a freak. He's an awesome football player. It's just how much do you value the running back in this day and age? I don't know how great Osiris Torrance will end up testing. He's kind of an okay athlete, I suspect. But he's a people mover and a mauler up front. He'd help the Bills in a big way. Dalton Kincaid is not running due to a back injury, which that's got to get medically clear before we establish he's a piece long term. But as a Hayden Hurst replacement, I love the fit. Keon White also did not run at the Combine, which was a bit disappointing. A lot of hype on him. I think he's more of a back end of round 1, round 2 guy, but I know the NFL likes him. And Nolan Smith is going to be among our top winners following his 4.44 40-yard dash. I will make note, Nolan Smith has always been, or at least almost always, in our mock drafts here at Chat Sports. We've always put him in the first round, despite others like Mel Kiper not putting him in there. Kept him in here again. Maybe it's a little bit higher, although it's a production issue for Nolan Smith, not an athletic issue. Darnell Wright rounds things out here. Let's throw an offensive tackle towards Kansas City here. The
Tennessee right tackle. I'm curious how he tests DeJuan Jones in that conversation potentially as well. But we haven't given him an OT to the Chiefs before, at least in our mocks, and I think that makes sense too. That is it for this mock. We'll have more combine coverage for you guys right here on NFL Daily.